bachelor and bachelorette parties, not problems.
That's right. No problems. Let's not talk about that today.
So yeah, so
I'm not prepared.
So who should plan the bachelor and bachelorette parties?
So typically that's going to kind of fall on your maid of honor, best man, to kind of lead planning on it. That being said, bridesmaids, groomsmen are also typically like pretty involved in that. So you usually have like maybe like one or two who kind of lead the charge on actually getting down to planning it. Maybe you have like a sister or a brother who like are a part of the bridal party and maybe not your like maid of honor or best man. So they might step in and kind of help with that. So it just kind of depends like what your like group is. And you might have some other people who are a part of the party who aren't even maybe your bridesmaids and groomsmen. So they might not be involved in planning, but they might attend the event. And that's okay too. It doesn't have to be bridesmaids and groomsmen the only ones who come. So if you have like a small bridal party, maybe you want to have a small bachelor party, but maybe you want a big one, even though you had a small we have couples who maybe only want to have their family because their friend group is too big and they don't want to pick, and you don't want to hurt feelings. Bridal parties get into all these feelings, right? Yeah. So you can always kind of involve those people, and this is a good event to involve them in if they weren't a part of the bridal party. Still a way to celebrate with them.
Yeah, and that was something that I know I did, and you did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did, actually.
I thought you did.
I think I kept my party pretty small.
Oh, you were kind.
Oh, no, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so long ago.
So long ago.
It's like 8 years ago.
What did I do?
It was 8 years ago. And for the grooms out there, groomsmen, New Orleans in June, it's probably not the best time to go. It's a little toasty.
Yeah. I feel like you were still sweating when you came home.
I am.
8 years later, you're still sweating?
I'm still, it's the condition for sure.
Should get that checked out.
So speaking of New Orleans and things like that, where should you go?
So I think that you want to decide on your vibe. And I would say before you start planning, you want to communicate that to your group of whoever is planning. So we just talked about who could plan it, but you want to make sure you communicate your vibe. As the bride or groom, this is an event that someone else is kind of planning for you. So it is good to kind of take your, hands off the reins a little bit and let them kind of do some of the work. That's what your friends are here for. They're going to celebrate you. But give them some direction, do you want a relaxed vibe? Like you want to go to the beach? Do you want a city vibe and you want to, go clubbing at night? Do you want to go to New Orleans in June? Are you looking for...
That's a chill vibe. Good food, good drinks.
Are you looking for something where you go camping? Or, are you looking for something where maybe you go shopping or go to a spa? So kind of like give them some direction. And then that can help to kind of guide what kind of, where you want to go. Another thing to consider is where all your attendees for the event live.
Right.
So... if you're getting married in the same city that all your friends live and they're not going to have a lot of travel expenses for the wedding, then maybe you guys do go to Vegas for your bachelorette party. If everyone's already traveling in for the wedding and maybe some other events and stuff like that, maybe they're doing a lot of traveling and cost is a consideration, time off work. Maybe you do something that's a little bit closer for everyone. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. There's a lot of expenses in being a bridesmaid and groomsman.
There's a lot more than people realize.
A lot of expenses.
Especially when you have multiple weddings in a year too.
Yeah. And people don't always like think about that. Like you might not be the only wedding. And so, and then a lot of people, maybe they're getting married the same year. So they have their own wedding expense.
Yeah.
So definitely keep that in mind, like the price point, going to Vegas, which is a traditional bachelorette party location, can be super expensive. I think Vegas is like one of the most expensive cities there is. So
when you account for everything, for sure.
Yeah. So keep that in mind.
It's fun though.
Yeah, it is. But flights, hotels, food, gambling, whatever it is that you guys are looking at, shopping, spa. There's a lot of expenses, so keep that in mind for your bridal party when you're planning, kind of knowing what you've already asked of them and, typically where they kind of are and financially and things like that.
Yeah. And I will say, just from in the time that we've been married, I feel like it's gotten easier and almost less expensive because of things like Airbnb and Hotel Tonight. I remember my bachelor party, we were just like 6 dudes in a room,
Yeah.
in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And now for that same cost, you could probably get like a 3-bedroom house. Something
Yeah,
like that.
for sure. And I
Yeah.
think that's really like a great option. Keeps everybody together, keeps the party
Yeah.
going, even if you guys aren't out. So that can be a really good
Yeah.
option no matter what kind of vibe you're going for.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when should you go? When should you do these parties? Because I think traditionally, at least like when I hear like a lot of like our parents and things like that talk, a lot of times bachelor parties, bachelorettes happen like the day before the wedding.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us a little bit like when should that happen?
Yeah, people did. I feel like that used to be a really common thing. I would say now it's more common to go like 1 to 2 months before your wedding day.
Yeah.
I would probably recommend that, especially if you're going to be partying pretty hard.
Right.
Because it's going to take you a few days to recover, and you certainly don't want to have, like a Thursday night bachelorette party, and then the next day is the rehearsal and rehearsal dinner, and then the next day is the wedding, or do it Friday night and then you're hungover for your wedding. That's not fun.
Right.
So I mean, especially if you're going to make a weekend out of it, you're going to want to do it like 1 to 2 months, which is what generally a lot of people do. Now if you're just going to do like one night and go out, doing that maybe like Wednesday or Thursday could be a good option before the wedding. Just keeping in mind that you do have a big weekend of celebration. So maybe you're not gonna stay out as late as you would have if you'd done it 1 to 2 months before.
Yeah, true.